There's more truth and value and guidance and help in our stories, fairy stories, fables and myths than ever there is in our philosophies and religions. And our religions we take to be copied in our children's stories and so forth. Not at all. It's the other way round. Our stories from time immemorial have become the subject matter of our religions, and our religions, the way we've lived it out, has mangled it into, sufficient for society to hold together in some sort of very crude form, not too godly. But our stories, and we hold story to be almost in contempt compared to reality. Not so at all. Story enshrines our aspirations that we've distilled from living, possibly aeons of living, I don't know. We turn things on its head. We should be despising the corruptions of the structures that we've built on such stories. You go back to Wizard of Oz or Genesis story of creation, or of the flood, or of Jesus' birth, or the Buddha's life. They are, all of them, a way of transmitting that which is fundamental to life. And they're in a form that in a sense you can give to kids in large measure. You can read Alice in Wonderland, you can read Grimm's fairy tales to people, you can, Gulliver's Travels was in some sense, a storybook for children. Because it's at the children's level you've got to get the truth through. Adults can't hear it. Adults sift through everything they hear and hear what is appropriate to their unfortunate view of the world. But with children you stand a chance. It's our story writers that have preserved the truth. It's our myth creators that have written the foundations of our religion. All our religions, including science, secular religion as I see it. You can read Alice in Wonderland with quite different eyes if you hold to the reality that the author's on a mission. You don't tea with the dreadful queen who cuts off your head, and the Mad Hatter, and shifting around the table, I don't know, is it every Tuesday or something, but we all change seats and we play a different game and have something to say. Some truth that it enshrines. Something that both opens your eyes and closes them. The fact that it's a story for children, we close our eyes to anything deep significance because, well, it's just for children, isn't it? They're not important compared to us. Either they won't understand the truth, and in fairness they don't. I mean, it breathes into them a structure that they should recognize as they grow up and find their way through it. It's purposed as a blessing. I mean, yellow brick road, I mean, straight and narrow way, isn't it? Shining to glory, I mean, Tin Man, the lion with no heart, and so forth. Oz, from 0 to Z, Alpha and Omega. It's God, isn't he? All very obvious, aren't they? Anyone could tell you that. Same with Alice in Wonderland. Same with Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels, isn't just being washed up on a beach with people that's apparently inhabited by these tiny, tiny people, and so forth. There's other stories in there about the land where the horses are the ones that are the civilized, and mankind are just the wild, barbarous creatures that don't understand true civilization. Incredible political reformer, way before political reforms ever came. Astonishing man, amazing story. I mean, there are obvious things in our current day, C.S. Lewis writing Lion, Witch and Wardrobe, etc. He's on a mission, and he's not on a mission that's straight Christianity as the Christians now like to accept him. They weren't as accepting of him when he was writing it, I might point out. They thought he was very suspect. And of course he should have been, from their point of view. That's not quite the truth he has at all. Again, you see, astonishing writer. And the stories of old of the great avatars, Jesus, Krishna and so on. Wow, Arjuna, Buddha, pure fantasy, but pure fantasy. A purity that goes to the very core of our being, utterly missed by the structures, the religions that are built on such. Almost want to say hopelessly misunderstood, but it's never without hope, is it? You can't exist without hope. Life vanishes without hope. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Are the messengers of truth immortalized by man? No, I don't think so. I think what they didn't say is attempted to be immortalized, and their reputation is severely marred by the historicity applied to it. And what is it then to reveal the truth? Well, first big wrong reaction is to Worship the messenger. Big mistake that. Detracts from the message, something chronic. The next big mistake is to rewrite, reinterpret, redefine, re-understand, prepare the glasses for people to read it with, such that they read quite differently. Can't get to the truth because of the mind that sifts everything that comes into it in a certain way. Our ideal is not to elevate the messenger. To some extent, Islam's attempted to do that. Hasn't elevated Muhammad to being some avatar. Not to keep retranslating the message into something you find more acceptable. A number of people I've come across who said, I like this translation of the Bible. What's liking it got to do with it? And in a sense it has, of course, because if it's not what they value, it's not what they'll follow. If they don't follow it, well, that's going to be a waste. But of course, if they see and value and follow something that's not what's meant to be there, well, that's not so good either, is it? One thing is more sure, and that is that this world is actually achieving what it's meant to achieve. It's meant to present the fruits of good and evil, that you may taste and see. You may, in a sense, form your own opinion and come to the conclusion that you want to pursue good and avoid evil. And, well, ideally I think you'll arrive at the notion that good is something to do with egalitarian love and kindness, non-favoritism, empathy, sympathy, compassion, truth, sincerity, earnestness, integrity, staying power, faithfulness, hope, joy, and peace. You know the list, don't you? Thank you, Heavenly Father.